Hi and welcome to another video. Jose Mourinho returned to Chelsea for a second stint in charge in 2013, arriving from Real Madrid. The squad was not exactly to his liking though, declaring, "The title race is between two horses and a little horse that needs milk and needs to learn how to jump." His goal for the first season was to build a team for the following season. The team needed to grow tactically and mentally. Looking at Mourinho's 2 full seasons in charge, we can see that Chelsea became more clinical in the second season, having less shots per game but scoring more goals. He had already added Matic in the previous January transfer window. Mourinho saw a place for Fabregas in the Chelsea midfield. This would add a lot more creativity and complement the role of Matic. With Matic's ability to cover deeper roles and provide protective wall for the back four, it allowed Fabregas to operate as a more advanced role, but still as a deep-lying playmaker in a double pivot. Matic's job was to win the ball back and give it to Fabregas to launch attacks. The addition of Diego Costa was key to this team. His ability to hold up play after receiving a long pass from Fabregas meant that Hazard and Oscar could advance. In possession, the fullback stayed deep most of the time, allowing Eden Hazard and Willian to attack with freedom. One of the central midfielders, usually Matic, stayed back behind the ball, allowing the other midfielder Fabregas to join the attacks. This allowed the wide players to stay wide and move into the inside half positions and play short passes with Oscar and Fabregas on the edge of the box. Mourinho picked Azpilicueta because he knew he was disciplined to stay back. This gave Hazard license to tear up defences on the left. On the opposite side, the defence was also perfect as Ivanovic liked to get forward, meaning Willian had to provide defensive cover. In the case of the opposition adopting a high press, Oscar would drop back into the midfield, giving more passing options. He would then look to build play or launch long passes forward to Costa to relieve pressure. Oscar dropping back would push Matic back in to protect the centre-backs in a 4-1-4-1 formation. Costa's physicality was an outlet when being pressured by the opposition and worked perfectly for Mourinho. When taking goal kicks, Cahill, Terry and the goalkeeper Courtois or Cech were not comfortable on the ball, so often the ball would go long to Costa or wider to Ivanovic, who would move up the pitch on the right. Chelsea would then look to gain possession by getting midfielders close to Costa and Ivanovic for knockdowns. Given freedom to roam, Fabregas often found himself on the edge of the opponent's box, perfectly placed to 1-2s and slot through balls to Costa and Hazard. In the first half of the season, Chelsea were free-flowing, scoring 40 goals in 19 games. In the second half of the season, Mourinho switched to a more pragmatic style as he didn't want to let the title slip away. Chelsea scored 33 goals and let in 19. Out of possession, the team formed 2 banks of 4. The 2 forwards pressed higher up the pitch to force the opposition into a pass. The 2 banks of 4 sat in a deep to mid block to try to prevent passing lanes in the middle of the pitch. This would force the opposition to go wide. When crosses came in, both Terry and Cahill could handle the crosses well, as they were good in the air. The 2 banks of 4 only pressed when the ball came over the halfway line. When defending corners, Chelsea would leave 2 players up the pitch, usually Hazard and Willian, and counter at pace when the ball was won back. Another feature of the team was Costa putting wide, usually to the left. He would run at the defence, often taking out 2 defenders. This would free up space for Hazard, Fabregas and Oscar to take up places around the box, where Costa would play 1-2s. Without doubt, adding Fabregas and Costa made the difference, as they also freed up more space for Hazard, who finished the season with 14 league goals and 9 assists, and Chelsea finished as champions.